Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Let's get started here. Check 1, 2. Great. Hello, everyone. My name is Joseph Pisani, and I am a technical specialist here with Mevo. And on today's show, we are going to talk about how to use the Mevo as a single cam unit, right? So if you're familiar with our shows, or if you haven't, if this is your first time seeing our shows, we take the Mevo into a bunch of different directions when it comes to how to set it up, how to use it through broadcasting software, how to use it by itself, how to use. A lot of talk lately has been about the Multicam pack that we now have and using it with the Multicam application. But today we're going to do an Ask Mevo Anything strictly using a single Mevo. So if you have a Mevo camera or the Mevo Start and you've updated to the latest software, latest firmware, 2.5, you now have access to new features, which I'm going to go over in the demonstrations today. But before I do, I want to make sure everyone knows that we are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So that's at Mevo Camera across all the platforms. And, if you're on Twitch or if you're on YouTube or Facebook, please, if you have questions for me and you want them answered live on the show, put them in the chat. Okay. So before I continue, just to let everybody know, we do have shows twice a week now. Where on Tuesdays today, we're doing Ask Mevo Anythings. And these are going to be more geared towards the live chat and answering questions live for you guys. And we can also go over some popular scenarios for the Mevo and new updates that come along the way. At 2 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays, we do Mevo Live. Now, on the Mevo Live show, we tend to do a little bit more elaborate setups. We're using different types of software, different types of connections, and really testing the basically the limits of the Mevo cameras, just to kind of see what you can do as far as remote conferencing, just broadcasting via OBS software, Streamlabs OBS. We also do use a lot with NDI as well. So that's, if you want to get really into the nuts and bolts of things, tune into our Thursday show. Okay. And then also, before I go any further, I do want to mention that we do have the Mevo 3-pack right now on sale. If you haven't heard already, we are selling the Mevo Start as a 3-pack. This is great for those that are looking to get into multicam, using the Multicam app, which is brand new as well. So these are available at mevo.com and all of our resellers now. So if you're looking on Amazon or something like that for the 3-pack, you should be able to find it there. Great. So let's talk a little bit about today's agenda, right? So I'm going to tell you a little bit how my setup is going right now. So what I have here is a Mevo Start. My Mevo Start is wired through Ethernet into my network. And then I also have my blue microphone routed through a mixer to my right, and that's being sent to the Mevo Start as well. So all of the audio you're hearing right now is coming from my blue microphone and is going through the mixer, out of the mixer into the 3.5 TRS input on the back of the Mevo. So this is definitely my recommendation as far as running audio, depending on what you're shooting, of course. If you're doing any type of front-facing camera scenario like I am today, this would be the best way to go, because this is going to give you availability to mess with your mixer and really get a nice good edit out of it. And also have really good clear audio for your audience. So let me know in the comments, how am I sounding? Let me know how you guys like the blue microphone. I always love to hear what your thoughts are on that. And then another thing we're going to be talking about as well is the, excuse me, frog in my throat there. Just some updates and what's new with the 2.5 app. Again, I'm coming at you not using any type of broadcasting software, so the graphics you're seeing are all being done inside the Mevo 2.0 app, or the Mevo app, excuse me. Great. So here's some of the things that are coming new with the updated app. You now have free graphics. You also have more Mevo mic inputs, which I can show you that today as well. And then it also supports HEVC for NDI. So for those of you that are using NDI, this is an availability to use half the bandwidth that you're using on normal NDI using HEVC, otherwise known as 0.265. So you could do 1080p signal at 7.5 megabytes per second, which is awesome. Normal NDI is around 15 megabytes per second. And of course, you could change those in the app settings as well. But now you have less strain on your system and less things to worry about. So I do see some questions coming in. So I'm going to dive into those before we get into anything else. So let's check them out. Okay, it looks like we have a question from Blake. Blake says, can the Mevo live stream into Facebook Creative Live event without using third-party software like OBS? So as far as I can tell right now, that destination is not supported by the Mevo app just yet. But if you do want to, I'm pretty sure you can schedule your events ahead of time and just do a page or a group and just set up the event in the group, make it a closed group if you want, and go that way. Cool. Jarrett says, nice Marshall head unit in the background. Yeah, that is definitely an oldie, but it still kicks. It still kicks. That's the Marshall Mod 4 for those of you into guitars and stuff like that. Cool. Thanks for that. Okay, let's see. Oh, it looks like we have DJ Mike Marquez coming in saying, what's up? How you doing, DJ Mike Marquez? Does great stuff on Twitch. Definitely a friend of Mevo for sure. Cool. All right. Well, it looks like that's it for questions right now. Again, if you have any questions about anything related to the Mevo, please put them in the chat. And let's see if I can find some order questions here. Yeah, if you do have any order questions, I see some order questions about accessories. If you go to Mevo.com, you can check and see if the accessories are on back order. If they are, obviously the shipping will be delayed on those. So just open up a ticket with us and we can look up your order number and take it from there if you have any issues with accessories right now. It looks like that's being covered in the comments. Great. Cool. So let's go into another thing I want to mention. I need to get better at using the app. Let's talk a little bit about, earning a little bit from just being a Mevo customer. So if you are a Mevo customer and you do have a friend or family member that wants to get into Mevo, maybe purchase a Mevo, we do have a great referral program going on right now. So with the referral program, you can save your friends or family 5%, and you can also earn a 5% commission on your end as well. So if you are a Mevo customer and you want to spread some of that Mevo love, absolutely feel free to do that with the referral program. That's Mevo.com/referral and Mevo.com/refer. Cool. Okay. So one of the things I want to talk about is how to use the single Mevo unit and get the most out of it, depending on what your setup is. So I've prepared some slides that I can go over with you guys and really get into, just different ways you can use the Mevo. So the first one, we got a question over here. Sohel says, which camera are you using right now? I am using the Mevo Start, and this is coming through directly through the Mevo app and being broadcast through multi-destination through Vimeo Premium to Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. So let me know how it looks. Let me know how it sounds. Please, if you have comments, let me know. And Shellen says, what is better to run Mevo on Android or iOS? Well, since we're going into this again, let me get rid of this real quick. So I run it on both. Right now, I'm running on an Android tablet, which I have no issues with. I love. If you're running on an iOS device, there's no issues there either. So it really just depends on what's available to you, which is why we want to make them available for both platforms. But I don't have a preference one way or the other. So what I would go with is just whatever device you're using, just make sure it's capable to run the Mevo apps. I would definitely recommend you have at least 3 gigabytes of RAM on your device. Obviously, using a tablet like how I'm using today, this is a Samsung tablet, gives you a little bit more real estate to move around, especially if you're using graphics and stuff like that. So obviously, tablets work a little bit easier with the Mevo app. So thank you for those questions. Okay, so let's get back into it. So let's talk a little bit about popular scenarios. So the live stage popular scenario is something that we get into a lot, and this could cover a lot of bases. So for example, this would be something where you have the stage set up, or you can do maybe a house of worship or any type of speaker event, any type of conference, anything that you're pointing a Mevo at a stage, this will apply to. So the Mevo has built-in internal microphones that you can use. They work very well, and they have a bunch of settings that you can change, whether it be speaker or if you're doing a music venue. So the Mevo itself can absolutely take in audio. This is, again, the Mevo Start. And it doesn't really matter where in the room the camera is. If you are putting the camera further back, you might have a little bit more or a lot more room tone, which I can give you guys an example of in a little bit. As far as opposed to having the Mevo up front, generally what we want is the Mevo about 5 to 15 feet away from the main subject. And from there, you're going to get your best video quality, and you're also going to be closer to your audio. So the closer you are to your audio, the better it's going to come in as far as using the Mevo internal microphones. And then the next scenario would be using something like the Remote Mic App. So the way the Remote Mic App works is you're able to send audio signal from a device. So let me give you a little bit more on that. So if you have a separate device than the one that's running the Mevo app, so let's say I'm using this iPhone, I can open up the Remote Mic App in my iPhone, and as long as my iPhone is connected to the same network as my Mevo camera, as my controlling device, I can send audio using the Mevo Mic App directly from the iPhone into the feed. So if I set this up and I go into my audio, I'll give you an idea of what this will sound like. So I'm going to select my iPhone audio. Okay, so right away, you should see a huge difference, or not see, but hear a huge difference in what the sound is collecting, right? As compared to a Blue microphone versus an Apple iPhone. So with the Apple iPhone, you are definitely getting more of the room tone. You're not getting as much of a direct signal as you would being connected directly through the Blue microphone. So if you're wondering if you can make this signal a little bit better, you absolutely can. And you could do that just by using a wired headset as well. So let me mute this for a second. And let me unmute that now. Okay, so now with the wired headset hooked up, and this will work with AirPods as well if you're using an iPhone or whatever Bluetooth device if you're using an Android. This will give me a little bit more direct signal. The microphone is closer to my voice. It's closer to the input signal. So this is a great way to set up a wireless mic solution, especially if you need to have your camera a little bit further away, like in this type of scenario here, where the camera is away from the stage and away from the speaker. You can send that audio signal wirelessly through the Remote Mic App. And if you're wondering why I have the other set of headphones, I can actually monitor what's coming in directly through the app. So my headphones that I'm wearing right now are Bluetooth to the Samsung tablet, which I'm using here. All right. Now I'm back on the Bluebird microphone coming through my mixer to the 3.5 input in the back of the Mevo. Cool. So hopefully that clears up a little bit about how the Remote Mic App works. And as you can see on the slide here, let's go full screen on that. It doesn't matter where the Mevo is, as long as they're both connected to the same network. You can have your camera here, remote mic source there. Doesn't really matter. You can even take it one step further and route out of your soundboard into the remote mic source and then send that to the Mevo camera wirelessly. And then this will give you that option of having a full house mix sent to the Mevo wirelessly. So this is a setup where you can use a wireless lav. So let me show you what that looks like real quick. Okay. So these are wireless lav units. And the way they work is pretty much the same way as the, let me just get rid of this monitoring real quick. Throwing me off. As the Remote Mic App, it's sending a audio signal wirelessly to the Mevo. So the way this would work is a couple of different ways, actually. So the transmitting unit, which is this unit here, has a built-in microphone on it, but it also has the option to run a lav. This unit would go on your person, and then the other unit would go into the back of the Mevo Start's TRS input. So that's a 3.5 millimeter TRS input, which I believe I can give you a good look at. Let's take a look here. Almost positive I have one that we can look at. Let's see. Yep, great. So if you're looking at this diagram here, now the two inputs you're seeing are actually 1/4-inch jacks. The Mevo does take an 1/8-inch jack, but they're a little bit blown up just so you can see the difference here. So this is a TS, which is a mono cable. You have TRS, which is what the Mevo takes, and then TRRS, which is what a cell phone would take. So that would be like a cell phone input to an old Android phone. You won't experience that with iPhones. Cool. So let's get back into the scenarios here. Nope, not that one. Bear with me 1 second, team. Trying to find my place. There we go. Great. So the lav, again, just showing here that you can put the Mevo anywhere and having the wireless lav attached. And then just like the remote mic app, you can also have, hopefully that's coming through now. Just like the remote mic app, you can also have the lav connected to your mixer, so you can have that signal being sent wirelessly to your Mevo as well. And that's a huge benefit, especially if you're using a mixer and it's on the other side of a room, like in this scenario here. As far as my scenario today, I'm using it more directly, right? So I'm coming directly from my mixer, 3.5 TRS input into the back of the Mevo Start. All right. So looks like we have some more questions coming in, so I'm going to hop over to there real quick. And let's see what we got. So Blake says, when using the Mevo Start, I run all of our instruments and computers through a mixer and Focusrite. I would like to add the actual Mevo microphone to pick up the congregation. When I attempted before, there's a lot of distortion of the feed. How can I make this happen clean and clear? This is a great question. So a couple of things here. If you're running, let me know if you're running from the Focusrite directly to the Mevo, or the mixer directly to the Mevo, because if you're using the 3.5 millimeter input in the back of the Mevo Start, then that will disable the internal microphones. Now, if you're connecting through your Focusrite and you're connecting through USB, that will allow you to still use the internal microphones from the Mevo. And if the internal microphones of Mevo are too hot, if there's too much signal coming in, let's say the band's too loud, mic's too close, you can actually change that inside the Mevo application into the audio settings. I can't show you that right here because I can't share this screen, but if you go into the Mevo's audio settings, there's faders for your inputs. So you can just back off that input and that should stop distorting your signal. Maybe mess around and turn auto gain control on or off, and also try and play around in the presets. If it's, it looks like it's music because you have instruments. So if you're doing music, try the music setting, because what that will do is it'll give you a nice stereo image, and it'll also give you a little bit more more dynamic range to pull in, a little bit more frequencies, so it'll be less hitting your output because it'll be a little bit more dynamic of a signal coming in. But you can absolutely lower that input fader. That'd be the number one spot I would start for you there, Blake. So thanks for that. Swell says, can you show a multicam view right now? So I can't show you that right now because what I'm doing right now is a single cam show. So I'm using one Mevo Start, and that's what's broadcasting everything for me today. So I'm using the tablet where I would run the Multicam app is obviously on this one. If I go into the Multicam app and flip it, it'll end the feed. So I can't do that right now. But I guarantee you on Thursday, we will definitely have a Multicam demo to show live on the show. Or, again, if you haven't seen our old shows, we've done a ton of Multicam demos the past couple of weeks. So, hop onto YouTube, go back onto the Mevo Live list, and I guarantee you'll see some stuff there as well. So thank you for that, though. Okay, so David's coming in and says, it'll be nice if the picture feature is, I'm guessing you're saying picture in picture, or just picture. If the picture feature is added, plus any payment plan coming up. No news on any type of subscriptions or anything like that. If you're asking about picture-in-picture, it is definitely something that's on the docket and something that we have discussed. If you look at Mevo.com, there's a little section that tells you stuff that we're working on upcoming, and picture-in-picture is one of them, if that's what you're talking about. But you just kind of wrote picture there, so I'm not sure. But as far as any plans for payments or anything like that coming up, nothing that I can talk about right now, nothing that I know of. So, okay. Charlie says, trying to simplify things, I got a TRS to TRRS adapter. It's a microphone adapter for iPhone. Plug the line out of the recorder directly into that experience. Expecting that to work similar to using Scarlett. Oh, he's adding more here. Okay. I have a PA system, no soundboard. Okay. I pull line out of the digital auto recorder. I take it into the Scarlett interface and output from the Scarlett into the iPhone using the Mevo Mic App. Copy. Okay, so I'm assuming that the Scarlett is nowhere near the camera, right? So this is why you want to send it wirelessly. And you're going Scarlett audio interface. Yeah. To simplify this, I would just come direct out of the. Yeah, I mean, you might want to open up a ticket. We can get a little bit more in depth. So there's a couple different ways you can go. Really, what you want to do is come out of the Scarlett. I would just pick up like a lav set, just make your life easier. You come right out of the Scarlett's headphone output into one lav, send the other lav directly into the Mevo, and there you go. You can cut out the iPhone completely, and you don't have to worry about adapters. I mean, that would be the solution I would offer, but we could talk about that later in a ticket. So open up a ticket at help.mevo.com. For any type of those ultra technical questions, open up a ticket with us. Either myself, Joe, or Will be in tickets to answer those for you. So let's move on. Jeff says, any way to import an HDMI feed from another device? No. No, we don't have any HDMI inputs, any type of analog inputs, so there's no HDMI out either. If you have for this, Jeff, you would definitely need to use some type of broadcasting software, something like Streamlabs OBS, and then you can, with something like that, you could just pull in sources from anywhere. So that would be the best bet for you on that. Jeff also asked, any automatic switching on the roadmap for iOS Multicam app? Well, I mean, the iOS Multicam app definitely does have auto director, so you can switch between cameras there. If you're talking about how the autopilot works on the Mevo 2 app or the Mevo app, where you're zooming in and out and switching between scenes on an individual camera shot, that's a little bit different. So that's specifically on the Mevo app, but in the Multicam app, you can absolutely switch automatically between shots. Cool. So thank you for those questions. I appreciate that, everyone. Keep them coming in. Okay. So again, we're talking a lot about the Mevo 2.5, the Mevo Camera App 2.5 version, and this will give you open up a little bit more than what it used to have as far as free graphics, more Mevo mic inputs, and HEVC support for NDI. So it's a pretty exciting update. So let's get into a little bit as far as using the Mevo Mic App some more, just because we did mention that now you can have more inputs, right? So let me pull this up real quick. And again, all the graphics you're seeing are coming directly from the Mevo app. And we want to go to, so right now I'm skimming through a slideshow. We want to talk about the Mevo Mic App a little bit. So you saw me hook up the iPhone. That is still connected. I can still go to that if I want inside the Mevo app here. So unmute it. So this is still the iPhone, and I'm using the wired connection. However, I can also, back on the blue, pull from another source. So this is a huge upgrade to this feature. It's just to be able to use multiple remote mic sources. So if you have a situation like the live stage setup, and let's say it's panel, right? And let's say there's multiple people on stage and you don't have the lavs for it, or you don't have the availability for microphones, now you can add some additional sources using the Mevo Mic App. All right, so let's unmute that. Check it. Okay, so now what you're hearing is my voice coming through the Galaxy S9 Plus, which is right here. So again, if I want to switch over to my iPhone, I could do that as well. So now you're hearing me come through the iPhone. You'll notice a pretty serious difference there. But another thing you can do is take this another step further. If you have a additional lav source that you want to use, you can do that as well. And now I'm using the additional lav microphone, well, small microphone, attachment microphone, going directly into the Samsung, and it's not a bad signal, right? So this is, again, sending signal wirelessly to my Mevo. This is all happening using one Mevo start. All right. Cool. So now I'm back on the Bluebird microphone. So if you guys have any questions about the remote mic app, please put them in the comments. Again, we are broadcasting right now live onto YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at Mevo Camera across all of our platforms. And I'm going to take this opportunity just to talk about it again since we just brought it up. We do now have the Mevo Start 3-pack. It is available on Mevo.com and our resellers. So if you're looking on Amazon, you should be able to find it there as well. And then, of course, just to quickly mention it again, if you are a Mevo customer and you do want to spread some of the Mevo love, please sign up for our referral program so you can save yourself 5% and save them 5% on their purchase at mevo.com/referral. And please, if you haven't followed us on Twitch yet, please follow us on Twitch, because once you get to a certain point, we get these awesome emojis, and we'll have a ton of Mevo emojis coming your way. So let's go into a different scenario. So we talked a little bit about a live setup, right? What I'm doing right now is more of a podcasty type setup, but we also have some scenarios where people go outside. So let's talk a little bit about baseball. And I just want to do some shout outs here. These are some people from our Facebook group. So if you're not in our Facebook group yet, I would definitely join if you're a Mevo customer, especially because it's packed. It's packed with users that come up with all kinds of innovative ways to use the Mevo. They show how they demonstrate their broadcast. And this one right here is just a great action shot. All right, and this was sent out by Mr. Mark. And as you can see, he's using the graphics, right? He has the score up on the top left. He has a little icon on the right. And he's actually capturing a pretty sweet angle where he can get first and third base. And it looks like an action shot of a play for home. So this is just pretty awesome. And this is some of the stuff that you'll find in our Facebook groups. Here's another one. Shout out to Doug. I like what he did here, having the player card on the bottom, using it as if it was like a lower third. So like if I wanted to do that on my end, I could totally do that just using the app itself. There's a section where you can create your own lower thirds. What he did there was create player cards, which I think is really cool. So let's leave my lower third right there, and we'll go back into this up here. Bring that in. All right, let's go full screen on this. Oop, wrong button. There we go. So again, this is just another way of how to use the different audio setups and different microphone setups with an outdoor event like baseball. You know, you can absolutely use a lav. Let's say you wanted to lav someone who's doing voiceovers for the game, or just announcing the game, let's say, or just hearing umpire calls, just getting it all connected. Now, the way you would do this would be a little different than you would a studio setup, because you're going to need to use the LTE connectivity with the Mevo Start. So again, I'm connected hardwire using my Ethernet. You don't have to do that. If you have a strong LTE connection, you can stream using that connection as well. And that's using something called Mevo's Hotspot Mode. Now, a lot of people might confuse this like they are using their phone's hotspot. It's kind of the other way around, right? So you're using the Mevo's Hotspot Mode will use your cell phone's LTE signal to send the stream out. So as long as you have good service, you can absolutely set something like this up right in the middle of the field. Let's see what other setups we have here. Oh, this is just something we can talk about where it's Mevo's wind mode. So the wind mode is a feature when you're using the internal microphones. So if you don't have a Blue setup, or if you don't have the Mevo remote mics set up, wind mode will actually, it's an algorithm that blocks out the sound coming into the Mevo. So if you are using the Mevo outside, that's something to consider. It's in the app settings whenever you're using the internal microphones. And then, let's go back to here. And these are just a couple more shout outs to people in our Facebook groups. Shout outs to Amber. She did this cool thing where she wrapped, it looks like I want to say it's like I don't know, just like hair tie, I guess. But what she's doing is she's blocking out some of the wind noise that are on the top of the microphone. So she said she had great success using that. Here's one that Randall used. It looks like he just used a fabric or a sock, a type of elasticity, wrapped it around the camera, eliminated some wind noise for outdoor use. So here we're talking about using a shotgun microphone. just something that may or may not be available to you, but that will definitely reduce some wind noise, as you can see through the example from Frederick here, where you can actually purchase windscreens for the microphones to eliminate some of that outside noise as well. Great. And let's do this here. And let's use these graphics. So again, kind of just showing off the Mevo 2.5 today, just showing off how you can use graphics, showing off how you can use different remote audio sources. I can't really show off the HEVC mode, but just know that if you are using NDI, if you have compatible products along with that, you're going to get a much easier stream, a much less strain on your computer and stuff like that. Cool. So let's go back to questions and see what we got coming in. Let's pop this here. All right. Okay. So Petra says, will Instagram be added to Mevo? Unfortunately, not at this time. The way Instagram works is they don't allow for API to their platform, and they don't allow for RTMP as well. So until they start opening up their doors a little bit to allow more people to stream from different areas, it's going to be app-only streaming for Instagram. So to answer your question, no on that one. Okay. Let's see what else we got in here. Okay, Charlie, we talked to you already. All right, so it looks like we're good on questions. How are we doing on time? All right. So I'm going to hang out a little bit longer to see if any more questions come in. Let's see what else I have here to show you. And let's definitely put this here. So again, I'm just messing around with the graphics here inside the Mevo app using the tablet. And let's talk about this real quick. Might as well throw this up. So today's Tuesday. Today's Ask Mevo Anything. Every single Tuesday is the user's opportunity to ask us, the technicians, whatever you want about the Mevo. So if you have questions about how to run things, how to get through things, how to use the new graphics feature, if you haven't used it yet, I've been using it a ton today. So Ask Mevo Anything, Tuesdays, 2 p.m. Eastern, youtube.com/Mevo Camera. Facebook at Mevo Camera, Twitch at Mevo Camera. So you'll catch us on all the platforms. And then again on Thursday, it's Mevo Live. So on the Mevo Live show, we tend to take things a little bit further. On the Mevo Live show, we'll incorporate how to do different location streaming. We incorporate how to use different types of broadcasting software, how to use multiple cameras, just how to use the ins and outs of the Multicam app, the Remote Mic App, and the Mevo app. So if you really want to get in depth, check us out at Mevo Live at Thursdays at 2 p.m. And then, of course, let's just see if we have any questions. And if we don't, I'm going to head out to greener pastures. Okay. Just Charlie coming in. He's saying, thank you for multiple mic apps to be used in 2.5 Mevo app. You're welcome, Charlie. I think, thank you for thanking us. It's something that a lot of people definitely wanted, something I'm really excited about. It definitely can add to people's productions, especially if they don't have, the budget to have a really giant full-scale production. This offers some flexibility, especially when it comes to your audio. So, Charlie, thank you for watching. Thanks for all your questions as well. Super grateful for that. Okay. Oh, it's a great question by Shalon. Is it Shalon? I'm going to go with Shalon. Can you use a cell phone while streaming through the Mevo app? It will disconnect the stream. So you definitely don't want to use this, at least on Apple iPhone. Joe, maybe I have the great Joe Mevo backing me up in questions here. So Joe, if it's different for Android, I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure when you answer the phone, that stream will be interrupted. He's confirming that as well. Great, copy that. So that's what I thought. Okay, so the way it works is if you're using an Apple phone, it will disconnect if you get a call, if you take the call. If you're using an Android, the Android app will actually run in the background. So that's something that's a little bit different between iOS and Android. So someone earlier asked which one do you like better, iOS or Android. That would be a difference if that's concerning to you. If you want to be able to use your phone but let the Mevo app run in the background, you might want to go with Android. Personally, I don't recommend ever using your phone when you're trying to use that device for streaming. I always recommend having a separate device specifically for streaming. It's just a best practice at this point. As you can see, I'm using this Samsung tablet. I use this for Mevo. That's all I'm using this for. And then obviously I have my cell phones for other things. But hopefully that answered your question. Great. All right. So with that being said, it doesn't look like we have any more questions coming in. Thank you for all the questions. I really do appreciate them. Joe Mevo chiming in here saying, do not disturb mode for the win. It is another best practice too. If you are using the device that you know you're going to get phone calls and texts and stuff on, click that into do not disturb mode. And hopefully that'll be a little bit easier for you to use. Okay. So let's go through it one more time. Again, I've talked about it a few times, but I'm going to talk about it again. It's the Mevo Referral Program. Save 5%, and you'll earn 5% commission back at mevo.com/referral. And with that being said, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. If you do have any questions that are maybe a little bit more technical or you want to go into it a little deeper, please reach out to us at help.mevo.com and open up a ticket with us, and either myself, Joe, or Will be happy to answer them. And of course, please follow us on all the social media platforms, on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. I've said it a ton today. So please follow us there, and I will see you next time. Thank you, everyone.